Test, test.
We're live.
Hello, Lori. Good in you? Nope.
Good evening. I'll call the meeting to order March 3rd, 2026 of the East Providence City Council. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll of the council?
Councilman Fogarty. Councilman Lawson.
Yeah.
Council Vice President Rigo.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Souza. Council President Rodrick.
Here, the records show that there's a quorum present. I did hear from Councilman Fogarty, who had some emergency dental surgery this morning, and he's quite uncomfortable at home. And I know Councilwoman Souza wasn't feeling well a week or so ago, so we do have a quorum at any rate. Please rise for the pledge and remain standing at the conclusion of the pledge, please. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time I would defer to Councilman Lawson.
I'd just like to call for a moment of silence for the 6 American service members who have been killed in the Iran conflict. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman. Madam Clerk, if you could start the agenda.
Show cause hearing. The following businesses are subject to a hearing for their alleged failure to obtain the appropriate license as indicated. A, business licenses. 1, Dune Brothers, 684 Bullocks Point, East Providence, Rhode Island, particularly. Needed information, the Rhode Island Department of Health, Building and Fire, and tangible taxes.
Council President.
Yes.
So at the last meeting, as you know, we had, I think in January, we had show cause hearing. This is one of the last stragglers. We did send them notice that they were to appear today. We have not heard from them. I'm assuming, obviously, they're not open. They're not open because of the season. I'm assuming they'll probably appear before us and get all this stuff in order when the spring comes, whenever that may be. So I just asked that this be continued to the first meeting in April, and with notice to them that
Councilman Lawson.
I'll make a motion that we move this to, do we gotta have a date? First meeting in April, I'm not sure the date.
and we'll.
April 7th.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we move this to the April 7th meeting.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Lawson to move.
And is it these health, building, fire, and taxes? Is taxes, I thought, do they owe tangible?
They must have some of their own equipment there that we must be taxing them on. Yes,
Right, but more than 50 thou?
might
Okay.
could be back taxes too. So
All right. And we've been emailing, calling, they just haven't. Okay. Okay.
So it's the fact that they're not open until summertime.
They've had a
Give them a
family
little
illness
slack.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they-
we'll hold
gotta follow the
to it.
rules.
Sure.
We're
we'll
going to
be-
follow the rules.
The second is by Council Vice President Rigo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Consent calendar for discussion and possible vote. Council journals, regular meeting minutes, February 17th, 2026.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Rigo, seconded by Councilman Lawson to accept. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it 3-0. I'd also note that there is no executive session needed tonight on the agenda. The next item.
Licenses for discussion and possible vote. A motion to bundle.
There a motion to bundle the licenses?
Yeah. Do you need to read them first or?
Just read.
I would just read the title without the, Madam Clerk, if you want to read.
Number one, special event, one-day entertainment license. Do you want the address?
Sure.
150 Emerald Street, East Providence. Number two, applicant Ahmad Viticulating, 350 North Broadway, East Providence, Rhode Island. Another viticulating ice cream shop at 45 Newport Avenue, East Providence.
Make a motion to bundle 1 through 3.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Lawson to bundle those items that were read 1 through 3, seconded by Council Vice President Rego. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Now, is there a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
Well, that was just a bundle. Now we're going to have the motion to accept.
Make a motion to approve 1 through 3.
Second.
Motion again by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Council Vice President Rego to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Mike, can you make the announcement?
So the next one we're gonna have a little bit of an issue with because I know Councilman Rego, the alcoholic Class B viculated license, has to recuse himself based upon an ethics opinion that he received. And so we're out of quorum to approve this license, and I apologize to the applicants who may be here. Is anyone here for that license? Oh, sorry, sir.
Yes.
So what I would suggest is we need, do you have a date that you're planning to open? As soon as possible. So I leave it up to the council how you want to handle it. We might have to have if you want to have a special meeting, or, I mean, 'cause I don't know if you want to wait till, what's our next meeting date?
17.
March 17th. So,
Could you come to the podium, please, Mr. Mattis?
yeah.
I don't think scheduling without their input.
No, go ahead. Go.
Yeah. We lose a quorum when we recuse.
I just want to ask the applicant, so I don't want to inconvenience you, if you could just come to the podium and just identify yourself and the name of the business. Just push that button on the microphone there. There you go.
Kevin Matos, the owner of Cafe Alma.
Right, and we welcome you. It seems to be a good business. You're off to a good start already. Is the cafe part of it? So you're ready to go at any time?
We are completely ready to go.
Okay, so what we'll do is I'll speak with counsel and solicitor, and if we can have some kind of a special meeting as soon as possible, we'll let you know. If not, it might have to go to March 17th.
Okay.
Public meetings have to be advertised, so
I think we should just continue it to
The next meeting.
March 17th. However, with the notification that if it's earlier, we'll post it as that.
Okay.
Is anyone here to speak on the for or against the license now? So there's no one here in the public right now. So,
all right.
Okay,
And yeah, we could look at either the 17th, or if we can find a day that we can accommodate them to come in.
so you're willing to meet on St. Patrick's Day, it appears?
I'll bring the whiskey, buddy.
Yeah, because
Hell yeah.
we had an event that we were going to do previously, kind of the whole ribbon cutting leading into a launch on the 14th. So that would just be hindering.
Okay, I'll see if we can advertise in time and I can get a quorum together, even if we meet just for that reason.
We would need just a minimum 3 of us. So if all 5 can, we'll get at least 3. I'll make myself available.
and it doesn't have to be at night. It could be
Right,
a morning.
could be a morning meeting or.
But it does have to be advertised by law, and 48 hours, is it?
That
Yeah.
meeting that needs to be posted by law. We probably will not advertise for the continued hearing unless it's on the 317, because we're going to continue to 317.
So if we put a special meeting to accommodate them, does that have to be
Just be
advertised for
posted.
48 hours?
Posted 48 hours.
48, yeah, okay.
Okay, we'll try to expedite it for you. Thank you for coming out.
And Mike, is that the type, we need the full AV and everything?
No.
No, okay. Yeah, we can do something about it.
Can the councilman return? Are there any other with liquor license? Okay.
So do you need I'll make a motion that we move this to the 17th unless we can accommodate them at an
We're
earlier
just going to
date.
do it because you don't even have a quorum to do that. So we're just going to.
Yeah, we're just going to move it. 'Cause-
Gotcha.
Thank you,
You got it.
Councilman. We'll just wait for the Vice President to return, and we'll continue the meeting. Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, may continue.
Public comment, Michelle Johnson.
Hi, is Michelle here? Michelle Johnson? You're here to comment? You signed up to speak?
Are you guys here for a specific item on the agenda? Which one? Oh, you want to move that up?
Is there anyone else first on the communications? I don't want to hold them up. That's it? Okay, so sure, we can,
We'll accommodate. I'll make a motion.
I think it's
to-
Councilman Rigo's item, if you want to move it up and without objection, we don't need a motion, okay. Okay, good idea. We do have an appointment. The gentleman is here, so he's had a busy day, I'm sure. So we can take care of that business. You want to read that, Madam Clerk?
Yes, appointment of Matthew Shoemate to the East Providence Waterfront District Commission 4-year term effective March 3rd, 2026 to March 2nd, 2020. Sorry, March 2nd to 2030. Council
Make-
President Rodrick.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lawson, seconded
Second.
by Council Vice President. Mr. Schumate, would you come up for 1 second, please? Just to introduce you. I received this application. I won't read it all now. It's quite impressive. And the East Providence resident who stepped forward. I know some of the Waterfront Commission meetings don't have at times a quorum, so we needed to fill this vacancy. So welcome and thank you for stepping up, sir.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate your time.
Great. If you want to say anything, otherwise, thank you. And
Absolutely. Well, keep it short, but
Yeah.
this is a great opportunity. I've grown up in the city my entire life, and although I serve a city in my employee capacity or my professional capacity, being able to be in East Providence working on something in my personal capacity is something that I'm truly excited.
you say you work for the city, not East Providence. You mean
Correct. I work for the
Providence,
city of
right?
Providence.
Yes. Thank
Despite
you.
living here my entire life,
Sure.
finally being able to serve this city is something that's super exciting. So I appreciate this time and
Excellent. Thank you. You are set to go, although you're welcome to stay here with us till midnight if you'd like.
We're not going to be that long tonight.
Thank you once again. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, now Council Vice President, if you want to move up your item, and Madam Clerk, if you want to read that item, and then you can describe it.
A discussion request for $2,500 for the McCoy powwow dated Sunday, July 12th, 2026. Is that the same one? At Crescent Park. Funds to be requested from the City Council Public Celebrations account. Council Vice President Rigo.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. 2 weeks ago, when being the appointee to the East Providence 250 Commission representing the council, I was there and started to talk about activities going on. And it came to light that this great organization, a long history, obviously, in the city of East Providence, they didn't have funds and they needed funds for a very important activity that they normally do. So they asked for 2,000, but when I started looking at, inflation and everything, I think it's appropriate that we give them 2,500 for the outstanding work and the involvement in the community that the tribe does for everybody. And I just said to them that I would get them this money for the powwow, which is part of our heritage and obviously going into the 250th anniversary of this country. And they are obviously the natives of this land, so it would be a shame if we didn't recognize that. So I move passage for the $2,500.
Second.
Motion by,
Oh, now we gotta go to the resolution.
okay, so we'll keep the protocol in order. So
You make
the
a motion to
motion
approve the resolution.
Motion to
Yes.
approve the resolution.
and seconded by Councilman Lawson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution is approved. Now we need the,
Did you?
Motion for
anybody
the
wanna
amount?
Speak on it to tell about the.
that's included in it. Okay, so yes, there is a group here if anyone wants to add anything to it. You
Oh,
got,
absolutely.
You
One of the
can, or
guys like-
you, if you don't
yeah,
want to, but it's approved.
It's
we're very
approved, but you
yes,
just tell us
absolutely.
about what's going on. Yeah. You can just turn the mic on, ma'am.
I just want to reiterate that not only are we just requesting from you, we're also doing our own thing also to raise funds for this. Because it costs a good $5,000 to $6,000 to put this event on. So we appreciate your, doing this for us. But we are doing fundraising. Matter of fact, we're having a spaghetti and meatball fundraiser next Monday night at the Cape Verdean Club.
I saw that.
So come on down, $10 a plate.
Great.
And thank you for what you do. When I started the Arts Council, we did the Louvre, and finding funding for nonprofits and groups, it's tough. It's tough. So commend you guys for working hard, and anytime we can support, we're more than happy.
So Monday the 9th.
Monday the 9th at the Cape Verdean Progressive Center, 5:30 to 7:30.
Oh, my wife would be happy. She doesn't have to buy me dinner. I mean, make me dinner that night. Yep.
Why would she have to cook for you?
She
I
doesn't want the house to burn down.
want to thank the,
Homemade.
Listen, I'm half Italian, so I'm going to judge it.
our city clerk is a member of the club. Is she cooking? No. I want
Is
to
George cooking? George doing the cooking? Yeah.
thank Vice President Rigo for attending that meeting and representing the council and being a liaison for us. We appreciate it. So that's approved. Thank you all for being here.
You're welcome.
Next item, please.
Number one, Blizzard of 2026 recap. Council President Rodrick.
So nothing too strenuous here other than to say I'd be remiss if the council didn't make a comment after we just experienced the storm of the century, it's being called. As I think many of us in this room, lived through the 78 blizzard, and we were trapped in our homes and businesses and schools for a couple of weeks or more. Talk about not seeing a plow. I didn't see a plow for 3.5 weeks. And, this time around, they tell us we had more snow. We had some advantages. People were home. We had warning. We had the advantage of technology. But nevertheless, I just want to, and I know the council will want to echo this, and I'm going to ask the mayor also to join us. We want to commend our workers, DPW, the men and women, the police, the fire, all responders. We're out there. We were moving through this city within 2.5 days, within 2 days. People were getting around. Again, if you remember 78 with less snow, I talked to a teacher the other day, and former teacher and became superintendent, Mr. Vinatero. He and Mr. Burke had 3 classes of students at the Providence Marriott Hotel. They started out at the State House for a program, Project Insight. The storm hit. They were stranded. They had all these kids that had to walk across the street and stay at the Marriott from that Monday till Saturday. They could not get out of the city, couldn't get home. So we did pretty well. So there might be more to say later on. I don't know if gentlemen want to add anything, but I just would like to commend the operation within East Providence.
I want to, every person who got behind the wheel of a plow truck, you have my undying gratitude. You started in whiteout conditions. We've had equipment that 3 feet of snow is tough, and they were awesome. They were awesome. They were out there, and you know, I understand perfectly. People, some were upset. They didn't get to me quick enough. I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
But
Human
the
nature.
amount of snow, and after a while, you can't push it anymore. You got to start removing it. So when we saw Vermont and the others coming in, that was a good. And beyond that, the local businesses that stepped up, that were feeding DPW, you guys are amazing and awesome. Every townie I saw out there that was shoveling neighbors, that was clearing streets because they knew the plows could do one pass, but we still had to get to other places. I had somebody tell me, it was Mr. Savory, that Rick, no matter what nonsense goes on in the city, townies will always come together and carry things through. And we saw a major event, and you saw townies come together.
Yep.
And we look out for each other. We take care of each other. You know, we complain, absolutely. But push comes to shove, we're there for each other. And that's what makes this city so amazing.
And you know, for the few complaints that were out there, I received many more positive statements, and people were sticking up for our workers. One person who made a comment to me about, oh, I want curb to curb plowing. Well, I like to quote the mayor of Warwick, who I saw in an interview, who said, curb to curb, said, we're not going to see curbs until April. So
saying that, though, let's be proactive. We're going to see some rain and warmer temps, so stuff's going to melt. We're going to make sure our storm drains are clear. We also be prepared, people. There are going to be potholes. Water gets into asphalt, it freezes, expands.
it's already
We've been telling you how to contact us. If you see an issue, reach out to us personally. The city's report a problem. There are going to be potholes. You know, we just want to be proactive to let you guys know we understand that, and we're going to do the best we can to correct them right away.
Before I ask Mayor De Silva to come forward, Council Vice President, you like to add anything?
Yes. To Rick's point, the plow drivers, unbelievable job. I also was fortunate to go out on Thursday night with Mayor De Silva riding around Ward 1.
I saw you on television.
Well, you were on the day before. You were on the day before, so let's not forget that. I didn't.
But I didn't get on camera. You were on
That's
camera.
because I'm better looking. So, so anyways,
No argument.
to that point, what the dedication of those men and women that work for DPW in all facets was amazing. And to see them Thursday night after probably mostly getting maybe 4 to 6 hours sleep, and to make this city passable and to help the small businesses, and thank you to the small businesses that help DPW. Also, as a father of a first responder, I want to commend the first responders in this city, both the police and fire, because they got there, and it was not easy, as he told me, driving around the state. And even though those cars are all-wheel drive and very heavy duty, it's not easy. And the police and fire answered calls, and they didn't. And it was probably took a couple of minutes longer than normal, but they were right there. It wasn't like anybody had to wait a half hour or anything. And I also want to commend the youth of the city. It brought back the way that we used to be going out. Some of them made money, but they also were not in my ward. They were knocking in the neighborhood. They were knocking on the elderly people who needed help to shovel them out. It brought back that sense of townie and community that we haven't seen in a long time.
Agreed. I'd like to ask Mayor De Silva to come forward, please. And as you come forward, I know I speak for many, and I want to thank you for your constant communications, keeping us informed, because there's no other way to do it other than through the social media and the code red phone calls. Maybe it was an extreme in some people's minds, but more information, the better. But
Thank
thank
you,
you, sir.
Council President. I'm going to echo what the rest of the council has said. This was a remarkable response from all of the city employees across all divisions, police, fire, DPW, the volunteers who came and helped to man the warming shelter that we opened up on Sunday. The city employees also participated in that. The people who took the calls, the people in my office who answered a lot of the uh, emails and phone calls that were coming straight through. Even though City Hall was closed, we still had people answering these emails and calls the best we could. This is a preliminary report, and we'll have a more detailed one that finalizes. This is a draft, but I wanted to share with you in the community so you know some of the logistics that were involved in this operation. Uh, this is a report by EMA Director Mike Carey, who was also the fire chief. Winter Storm Hernando was the name of this storm. We're all going to refer to it as the blizzard of 2026 for, as long as we can remember, but it actually had an official name. Operational period was from February 22nd at 1800 hours until March 1st at 1800 hours. That means we were operating on this project for all that time. Between February 22nd and February 23rd of 2026, the city of East Providence experienced a historic blizzard during the snowstorm Hernando, resulting in 36 plus inches of snowfall, sustained winds of 60 miles per hour, whiteout conditions, widespread power outages, and significant impacts to its transportation and infrastructure. The city activated its emergency operations plan and implemented a unified command structure, integrating emergency management, fire, police, DPW, and REMA. Despite extreme conditions, coordinated municipal operations protected life, safety, maintained emergency response capabilities, and restored essential services within 3 days, as mentioned here. The storm timeline: 72 hours before, we started monitoring the initial weather reports. 48 hours prior, we had a partial EOC activation. And then 24 hours prior, we instituted the parking ban announcements, and the public messaging intensified regarding the storm. Storm started, the real onset of the storm was about 5 p.m. on the 22nd, and the peak was about 0800 hours or 8 a.m. on the 23rd. We had approximately 36 plus inches, 60 mile per hour winds. Temperature ranged from 21 degrees to 37 degrees. We had 311 people that lost power for approximately 24 hours. And a state of emergency was declared by the state of Rhode Island, Governor McKee. We did the best we could to communicate with our community utilizing social media, code red alerts. We put out multiple code red alerts to inform the public on what was going on. We opened up our shelter, and we sheltered 8 residents throughout this event. And that opened up on the 22nd at 7 p.m. So to compensate for projected delays due to storm covered roads and impassable roads, extra personnel were deployed to the front lines of the fire department. Critical duties, including fire suppression, emergency medical aid, and rescues, were immediately actionable under the staffing model, eliminating the need to wait for units. So what we ended up doing is we added an additional battalion chief. This is just to educate the community, because people were asking me, what did you guys do to prepare? We added an extra battalion chief working so that there were 2 supervisors, one for the north, one for the south. Additional personnel and apparatus in District 2 and 3. 2 additional rescues were placed in full-time service during that storm. And we also had a utility vehicle with a plow at each fire station. And the purpose of that was to lead the fire apparatus to a call, so they would clear the road. We actually did have rescues, multiple rescues, and fire engines that did get stuck in the snow despite our efforts to plow and open up the roads. During that time, during the event time, we received 99 calls, 59 EMS responses, 1 fire response, 10 fire alarm responses, 8 CO alarm responses, and some public assistance responses, 16. On the police department side, we also put on extra manpower. The chief's putting together the exact numbers, but calls for service during the period of the operation, there were 931 calls. Motor vehicle accidents, there were 43. Disabled vehicles, 109. Vehicles removed through the parking ban where we made contact with the owner. There were 100 vehicles that we made contact, and that's the efforts that the police department generally do. They try to get people to move the vehicles before we issue a ticket or before we tow the vehicle. So we were able to get 100 vehicles removed for the parking ban, 24 vehicles were towed, and 45 citations issued. For a significant storm of this magnitude, when I drove around, and I drove around with some of the members here, during the parking ban, vehicles stayed off the road, and that really helped out. So we thank the community for following through on the parking ban and adhering to it. On the DPW side, so the personnel deployed, Highway Department had 35 employees deployed with 2,252 hours combined put into this project. The Water Department had 17, and they worked 630 hours combined. And Central Garage had 9, and they worked 630 hours. There's 160 miles of streets, municipal streets in the city of East Providence. We plowed 160 miles worth of streets. Equipment utilized, we had plow trucks 60, loaders 2, backhoes 3, and dump trucks 3. That was city equipment, all city equipment. We used approximately 534 tons of salt. During the plow operations, the focus initially is emergency corridors, hospital and critical facilities, routes to hospitals, arterial roads, and then residential streets. So that was the order of attack. We also established a storage site for snow towing, snow moving. We ended up getting assets from out of state that really helped out. REMA assisted and deployed 3 front-end loaders, 1 industrial snow blower, and 14 dump trucks. So those assets really helped to move material. There were 807 loads of snow that were hauled out, and it really reduced the recovery time from a five-day recovery time to a 3-day recovery time. Estimated costs, and this is not the final cost. In fire overtime, there was approximately $27,715 in overtime. Police overtime, approximately $11,500. And DPW overtime, $186,274 in overtime. The total estimated impact was $260,126. $260,126. So what does that mean for us? We're hoping that we get an emergency declaration from the federal government. REMA is working on that. They're working to try to get that through FEMA. If we do get that through FEMA, we'll get up to 75% reimbursement on all those expenses. And this is a very preliminary report. There'll be a much more detailed report because I know that during this, one of our plows was broadsided in an accident. We had equipment that was damaged. Our vehicle maintenance crew was very busy. What happens with these trucks, they take a beating, and those guys being on duty during this event, constantly fixing trucks, repairing trucks, getting them back on the road. So I know it was mentioned here by the members of the council. I think I'm just going to echo what you said. I couldn't be more proud of all of the people who work on behalf of the city of East Providence. I couldn't be more proud of the businesses that came out and supported. And I couldn't be more proud of the members of the community who helped each other out and adhered to the parking ban and really were supportive of the whole process. It was an incredible opportunity. I also couldn't be more proud of the members of the city council who reached out, had questions, had suggestions, try to help us put us together with some assets to help with the snow removal. I really am grateful to all of you. With that being said, we do plan on recognizing all the employees in the city of East Providence and the volunteers who participated during the first 2 days of the storm, and then the ones who continued in the cleanup. We're putting together a luncheon. We want to invite the members of the council to be there. We're going to invite other elected leaders to come and celebrate the hard work that these people did on behalf of our residents. So we'll let you know when that is, and we hope that you can join us. Thank you. Yeah.
You need meatballs?
Question from
For the
audience.
luncheon?
Hold on. I have a question from the audience, yes. Oh, great question. So we did have to deal with unfortunately, recycling was the week of the blizzard. We did shut down school for a week. We shut down City Hall for 3 days, and we had to cancel trash pickup. That happened to fall on the recycling day. We do recycling every other week. This week would have been no recycling, but people are full. We understand that. What we did is we opened up DPW. If people want to empty out partial, we're not expecting you to pick up your whole bin and carry it over. But if you want to take a few things off the top and drop it off at DPW, you can do that. They're open Tuesday and Thursday till 7 p.m. and the rest of the week till 3:30. And I believe on Saturday we're open for 4 hours in the morning. So if people want to offload some of the stuff from their recycling bins, they can do that. Unfortunately, what happens is our contractor has contracts with multiple municipalities. So this week was another municipalities. They only have so many trucks, so they couldn't do our pickups, unfortunately, this week. I know it's a hardship for the residents, but I know that we'll get through it.
Councilman Rigo, do you want to add something?
I'd be amiss right now if I didn't recognize two people directly. Dan Borges, the head of DPW, and Andre Herrera, the mayor's liaison. They did an amazing job. In my ward, I had some situations dealing with the woman soon going into labor, and Dan got the street plowed, and I think you got that phone call too, Mayor. Statewide 911 worker needed to get there, call that, and then Dan was working a ton of hours, and Andre stepped up, and every time we had an issue with the street and everything, got it to him. He got it to the proper DPW who was handling the situation, and I think the great working between your office with Andre and us, helped us with our constituents. So I just wanted to recognize both of them.
I think first of all, thank you so much. Dan did a great job leading the team. Chris DeCecco, additionally, did an incredible job on the ground. Andre and the rest of our office, I want to also, since we're recognizing people individually, Matt Paddock did a great job communicating. And what happens with these, not just them, but everybody, during a crisis or emergency like this, everyone's available. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is. We give them a call, they pick up the phone, and they take care of business. So I'm very proud of everybody.
And my final comment will be, because I know on social media I saw some comments, and not necessarily about East Providence, about other areas. Someone mentioned, well, these people, they get paid. That's their job. Nothing can be further from the truth. When there is a catastrophe, good people step up. There are others that could do the minimum and be okay legally, but when good people step up, it makes a difference. And we also should mention that the school department maintenance crew stepped in, and they do a little bit of plowing themselves for the school properties. It was all one big family. It was schools.
Council President, you are correct. I forgot to mention that. They will be recognized this day.
Sure.
When we bring everyone together, we're going to invite the school department personnel. I reached out to the superintendent. I was like, look, I know you have plows on your vehicles. Can they come out and help us clear snow from the streets? And they did. So the school personnel were actually out there plowing streets for the city of East Providence. So thank you for reminding me.
And that's a key thing, because there was a time in a lot of communities, not just here, but it would be, well, no, we work for the schools or we work for the city and we can't cross over. The unions won't like it. Well, that's no longer the case. And they all stepped forward together.
Council President, one last thing.
Yes.
The most memorable moment is in the height of the storm, slow still coming down sideways. There was an individual going down the street with a snowblower trying to clear his street. And I'm like, who is this guy in the middle, short little guy out there with a snowblower? Who was it? Council Vice President Rigo was out there actually helping out his neighbors, trying to snowblow a path down his.
Well, it is the campaign season,
Now, I mean, besides my neighbors, I also, that first responder I talked to who was protecting the southern part of the state of Rhode Island, as a Rhode Island state trooper, needed to get to work to protect people. So I was snowblowing to make sure that he got through.
Well, we appreciate that.
You were too cheap to hire a kid to do it.
Yeah.
It was at the height of the storm. It was at 8 o'clock in the morning.
One, I know I said my last comment, but one real last comment. I would ask the public in general that if you are inclined to go out to dinner or go and have a beverage somewhere, some of our restaurants and taverns, they suffered. Saturdays and Sundays that are big for them. And when we had a parking ban, we have some restaurants and clubs that only have street parking. They had to close. I'm sure they lost thousands of dollars. And there was nothing we could do about it, and they understood that. So go out and get a dinner, grab a hamburger, do something to help all of our neighborhood clubs and restaurants. And I think we have some of the best in East Providence. We're getting people from throughout the East Bay, from Providence that prefer to come into East Providence. We have some great pubs, diners, restaurants. Let's go out in the next couple of weeks and buy a meal.
And then let me just finish. You know, it's no secret, me and Bob Buttheads, you did a great job last week. Credit due where credit's
Oh, hang on, the flag's moving over here.
Motion to adjourn.
No, listen.
No.
When things are going bad, you get the blame. When things go good, you deserve the credit.
No, that's well
Thank you
said.
for your leadership last week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate that. Madam Clerk, next item. Well, all townies, right?
Number 2, community choice electricity aggregation. Council Vice President Rego.
Thank you. Just a follow up, and I think Andre was going to have some more information on it, and it gets more important all the time as you keep on hearing about these rates going up, and what we can do to help fellow citizens would be outstanding.
Good evening, Vice President. Thank you for the kind words before, and I appreciate your patience on this matter. The latest I have is that we're setting up a meeting right now with Providence, the city of Providence, to go over what vendor they used and their plan and how they tackled CCA, community choice aggregation. And additionally, in tandem to that, we're also exploring the Rhode Island League of Cities and Towns and their strategy for tackling this. They're going to be giving a presentation within the next couple weeks at their convention. So we're going to take these two possible pathways and analyze which one is the best plan to move forward that will save money for the residents.
You also, through the leagues and cities and towns, could you reach out when you get a minute, which I know you're very busy, but also reach out to Narragansett, which has been very successful, the town of Narragansett's program. And the town manager down there happens to be grew up as a townie. Jimmy Tanny grew up in Rumford, and I think he would help you. Get through. Get us more of the information. But they've been one of the beginning ones, and it seems to be from the people I've talked to down there. And Bob, the president might have some people knowledge, having relatives down in that area as well.
Yeah, they've done quite a bit, so we could always benefit from some advice.
So that's
Thank
a
you.
great suggestion, Vice President. Our procurement specialist did reach out to every city and town that had one of these community choice aggregation programs. So I will follow up with her on this specifically in Narragansett and let you know the outcome of that.
Next item.
Number 4, a discussion to request up to $3,000 to the fund to fund the city's East Providence 250 website. Council Vice President Rego.
Again, this comes from the meeting a couple weeks ago that I attended on behalf of the council. Andre could hopefully fill us in a little bit more on the process or where we are with this for this website, obviously for an important occasion in the history of the country. Also, this 250 doesn't end on July 4th, 2026. It's going to be a full year. It will conclude in 2027.
Yeah, so Vice President, as we had discussed in the 250th Commission meeting, what we're looking for is just some additional funding to help support our program. It's not just for a website. Actually, somebody was kind enough to design one for us. And we just need some funds before we start fundraising on our own. with the partner organizations to get us up and running. So this funding would be for securing a domain name, which we need to pay for a domain to be able to post some information there. And additionally, it would also go to other honorariums and other costs associated with hosting some of these events. So any funding that the council can provide towards this momentous celebration and the events that we have planned would go a long way. So we appreciate that.
We fully support. Can you have Glenda email us the balance of the public celebration account? And we're more than happy to help out. I mean, public celebrations are part of what makes East Providence special. We just want to ensure, because we want to make sure the money's there, that we can accommodate and help. Did you think about the restaurant week guy that does?
Well, they sent him out
Oh, okay.
I think that they reached out to Jeff. I think
Because I don't think that was big money, right?
I think they reached out to Jeff. So, but as far as, where we are as far as the allocation of the money.
Yeah, I check with Glenda. Andy, do you have any idea on the figure?
$1,280 is left in that account.
And we still got brass attack. We still
That's a separate, that comes under the recreation. The ticket.
okay. Okay.
We may be able to use that account. So maybe
So we only have
we'll work on
1,000?
that
In the
Then-
public celebration
in the
account?
council's celebration.
The council. So
So how are we going to give them 3?
We're not from that.
not from there. We'd have to get it from other sources.
So for the March, for the next meeting,
Okay, yeah.
we'll see if we can locate another source.
We can have a discussion offline, but we'll get a resolution to appropriate up to
Yes.
when we find the money.
Yeah.
And I think the clerk said there might be some other.
Yeah, and I have an
I-
account that I think we
was-
could use.
I was looking under the legal department's budget.
We'll get
the
that.
lawyers who
done.
wrote that declaration,
Yeah. Thank you. Next item.
Number 5, update on Crescent Park projects, bathrooms, building, event tent. Councilman Lawson.
Councilman.
So a lot of people are firing up their phones at me. Rick, what's going on? Where we at? What's going on? So is there any update I can pass on? I know Nancy's waiting to hear the update.
So, Councilman, thank you for your patience on this item. At this time, the project remains on track for early spring, late winter start, weather dependent. So there's a couple items here that you put bathrooms, building, and the event tent. So I'm just going to break them down to make it easier to explain. So the building and the event tent go together. The latest is that we've received revised structural drawings based on the revised footprint from the structural engineer working for the architect. New England Construction is currently working on the pricing of the revised structural plans to fall within the allocated funds that the City Council allocated. And so we're still waiting the mechanical drawings, but we anticipate them by the end of this week. So once we have the mechanical drawings and those have been received, then we can finalize the pricing, and the materials and everything should still be on track for the spring.
So still no signed contract, no start date, just, okay.
Once we get the mechanical drawings in a week, then they can get the pricing, and then we can go right away because the council already allocated the money.
That's where our confusion is. Usually when you come to us asking for money, the plan's already done, ready to go. And then I happen to ask a question to Mike, hey, how we doing that? And that's how I found out the contract hasn't been signed yet. So a little bit confusion of what's
but
going on
This is
here.
also a really good strategy so that we can move as quickly as possible. So once they finalize the pricing, we can go instead of having to put it on the docket and then wait 2 weeks. And then
No, I get that, but usually the pricing's already set before you come to the council.
Yeah.
That's where our confusion is.
right.
Okay.
And that's
I'll ask again in a couple of weeks where we're at. Thank you. And the bathrooms, I've had people calling me, why is CRMC reviewing it when we haven't seen anything yet?
So we're still waiting on the final feedback of the bathroom facility from our architect, and when we'll provide feedback on that as soon as we hear back.
Who's our
from our
architect?
architect. I'll have to check with Dan on that. I don't have his exact name in front of me, but I can.
Because I heard there's already
that.
plans designed, ready to go, just waiting for the next step.
Yeah, I can check on who the architect is and get back to you on that.
Okay. I will tell you, there's a lot of anxious people down in Rivers, not just Riverside. I get it from all over. Just want to know what's going on with the park. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Number 6, Hometown Heroes banners.
So we were hoping, what was it? Last Saturday, February, was it 20th? What did the, yeah. We were supposed to have a veterans meeting and we were going to have, start promoting the Hometown Heroes banner. That got pushed back, obviously. So where we're at now, I'm just waiting for Andrea to give me the access to the form and where I could see the things. And there's a thing on the form I got to clear up. We want to put the locations. So meeting with Dan, we could either put Riverside, Rumford, or Warren Ave, Taunton. So we want to put that on the form. So that's why I was asking for access to that. Once that's ready, we can start promoting. This is going to be we already got banners. People are used to it. This is a nice hometown hero banner and ready to go. We'll get some nice flyers going. I'll be out there telling people if they want to come physically sign up. There'll be a form online and we're ready to start promoting it. And
It's going to look impressive.
yeah. It's, East Providence home to many veterans. The support of veterans has always been amazing from the administration to the council and our Veterans Advisory Committee. They do a great job just advising, saying, hey, this is what we do. And we got the Elks that sit at our table. They're the ones on the front line grabbing homeless vets, putting them up in transitional housing. So we are moving forward. It's just a matter of finalizing that form. And then we got to put together some promotional plan of, some digital flyers and social media. And then, just help as many people as possible sign up. It's going to be, let me double check, I believe $100 per banner. The form, we just need names, date of service, branch of service, and your preferred location. We didn't go with pictures because not everybody would have a high resolution picture. Mm-hmm. So you want to keep them looking nice. So you can't have a grainy photo next to a nice.
Some towns, I don't see a lot of pictures.
Yeah, no. So it'll be like the name, the brand, the emblem of the branch of service, and then the years served. And we'll have the city logo and it's going to be nice. It's going to be great. So it got delayed because of the storm, rightfully so. Everything was. So we're looking to get back on track. So I just wanted to give that update. And I'll work with Andre and Andrea to get the final piece done. And then we'll start coordinating a campaign to advertise it and get it rolling. So that's it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Public hearing.
Next item.
Be careful. It's icy out there.
Public hearings, ordinance for second and final passage for discussion and possible vote. Number 1, ordinance of the Council of the City of East Providence allocating an additional $94,000 to complete the planned paving and related site improvements at John Lewis Park, introduced by Council President Rodrick and Council Vice President Rigo.
So this is second passage. It's also the public hearing. The continuation of this is the waterfront area, a small park that had been dormant for years, and we have been improving it, and we'd like to finish the project. So this has been discussed, received first passage. This is the second passage. This is a public hearing. If anyone is here, I would open it up at this time for discussion.
Just to be clear, this
Yes.
this is actually first and final passage because this was advertised as from unallocated.
Unallocated capital fund, so it is final passage.
Only one passage is needed, so that's why we're doing.
Okay, I
Because it was
misstated that it was.
And it's the same for item 2, correct?
So it is a public hearing. Council comment.
I'm going to make a motion to approve pending public comment.
I'm going to second it, and it's a nice little jewel. If you don't, obviously, it's right next to the yacht club. So it's one of those places where if you don't have a lot of time during the day and you just want to go and have a quick lunch, if you're working around here, it's just a nice place to go and get away and do some self-examination, meditation. It's a great location. With it being paved, it would be even better because when it rains down there, it's just dirt right now. But it's a nice, just a great location, easy in, easy out.
And it helps the waterfront area for some additional parking.
And not only that, I like to explain big picture stuff like this. This is a small park, but we're about to have a concert venue. We're going to have a marine terminal. There's going to be further development. There's going to be a mixed use once things start going. When the bridge gets done, you'll see a lot more. So this little pocket park is going to be a piece of a beautiful waterfront. And our new waterfront commissioner there, he can get some good things going. So,
So that's a motion and
Absolutely.
seconded by Council Vice President Rigo. Is there anyone here that would like to comment for or against this project? Ask one more time if there's anyone here to speak against or for this allocation. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. We've had the motion and the second. This is first and final passage. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, 3-0. Thank you all. Next item.
Number 2, ordinance of the council of the city of East Providence allocating an additional $486,710 for the construction of a police substation and recreation storage facility at Pierce Memorial Stadium, introduced by Council President Rodrick and Council Vice President Rigo.
So once again, this is a project that had some monies already allocated. We have some other funds to get this project done. And it's been discussed for maybe 8 to 10 years. I know when I first got involved on the city council, and I walked with the mayor throughout all of Pierce Stadium, which had been getting run down pretty much. And since then, we have enacted, you've heard us talk about it many times, there are even new things going on with the stadium. So I won't belabor that point now, but there are also concerns about security. And at that time, the then police chief and the council, the mayor, we all agreed might be a nice idea to have a police substation in that area, even if intermittently police supervision is in and out of there, because through the years there have been some issues with some vandalism, and lately it's been pretty good, and we want to keep it that way. On any given day, as I constantly remind us all, you go to Pierce Stadium and it is crowded from end to end. I've been there to see baseball games, softball games going on at the same time, basketball courts with little kids, hundreds of kids participating. In the summer now, the splash pad, the playground system. For those who say we're not using Pierce Stadium, they don't know where Pierce is. So this will be a great enhancement.
And having the substation's great because you got so many kids and people there, having the cops interacting, it just strengthens the community. We have a police department of a residential community, and the more they interact, I knew the cops growing up when I was Armengaro, PD Aqua and stuff. So this is great. The more people interact and stuff, the better. We can get rid of this stupid defund the police garbage and stuff. And people understand we need to have public safety, and having them out with the folks there in the substation, I think it's awesome.
It also will give us some storage in the facility. The playground system is headquartered there at Pierce, and there's some recreational equipment and other things that need to be stored. And rather than putting them in people's cars and driving them back and forth.
So Becky, our awesome new rec director, she's getting storage at Pierce. She's getting a brand new rec center. Nice.
Yeah, we're
gonna spoil
getting
you.
top shelf.
It's a raise. But I mean, to Rick's point, and with the substation, obviously, for one, it deters, as you said, any vandalism. But our police department has a very good community policing division already. The men and women that are involved in that, and it just, like you said, to get rid of the defund police mentality. The men and women of this department and like every department in the state of Rhode Island, they're human beings, and they're caring. That it's not their job for the men and women in our department, and probably for the whole state of Rhode Island. They don't have that mentality. They're there as almost like social workers, and they're human, and they want to get involved. And you'll see the police officers be in there. They enjoy watching those baseball games or basketball games or any events going on.
When I have seen a lot of these activities there, I've seen men and women, the police stop, get out, and shoot some baskets or play catch and do something. Very similar to, and I should have said this earlier, and this is unrelated, but it is related. Back to the snow plowing. I was on a street the other day, and there was a big mound of snow in the corner of someone's yard, and there were little kids sliding down it, which is a lost art. There was no more sledding to speak of anymore. And it happened to be, as you mentioned, the DPW director, Dan Borges, and I think Mayor and Andre were also driving by. And as they were leaving, Dan Borges stopped. He got out and he got on one of the sleds with the kids, and he was sliding down the hill. And the parents were just beside themselves. And the kids were like, "Give me my sled back," But this is the kind of community that we have, and if we can have a police substation at Pierce Stadium, and through the years, maybe we'll have one in, say, Riverside somewhere, and we used to have one in the square. So anyway, it's a public hearing. Is anyone here? Mr. Solicitor, this is the final passage. It is a public hearing. Anyone
Did I make
here?
a motion to approve yet?
You just did, and
Okay.
is there a second?
Second the
Vice
motion.
President Rego, and I
In
would
the motion.
ask if there is anyone here that wants to speak for or against this. Come to the podium if you have a question about this item, yes. Just a name and address for the record.
My name is Carol Brown, live at 99 Goldsmith Avenue.
Yes, welcome.
In East Providence. I just have a question about the substation. Is that going to be there just for a few hours, or is it going to be around the clock?
I don't know the hours of it. I would assume it's
Probably
available
not
to the
24
police.
hours.
Mayor, can you answer that?
There you are. Because there are some things that happen there in the middle of the night and late at night. Some kids go there and...
Sure, it'll be available to the police whenever they want it. It's their building, but maybe the mayor has a schedule.
Help yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. No, first, I want to say thank you to the council for supporting this. This is a great community initiative. It will create a safer PS Stadium complex. The purpose of creating this facility is that it will give police the incentive and also a location for where they can go to put in reports, meet with people in the community, use the facility for lunch, use the bathroom facilities if they need to. When we have big events, we can staff the office with personnel so that people have an area where they can go to if they need to get with police service. So at the end of the day, it's going to be a very well used. It'll be available to the police, like Councilman Lawson mentioned, 24/7. They can stop in. Will it be manned 24/7? No, that's not going to be where they're going to be posted, but it'll be a location that police will be coming to, stopping in throughout the course of their duty. If we have special events going there, it'll be a place where they can post up. So that's it's a really good thing. But what we did was when we designed it, we thought about the needs of our recreation department, as mentioned earlier. The recreation department runs their summer programs out of Pierce. They don't have storage. They have to lug all the stuff over there. So there will be a full basement for storage, and there'll be part of the upstairs will be also for storage. And we're building this on a site that currently was housing a couple of transformers. So it's on the current site. It's that dilapidated little area that you see when you first come in.
Already got a basement, right?
It's already got a basement. So you're going to beautify the area. You're going to create this beacon of, welcome to East Providence Police Department. So it kind of makes people think twice before they commit a crime, thinking, hey, here's a police substation. Am I going to do something? So thank you all very much for that support.
And they may be able to leave a police vehicle there from time to time, even if there isn't a person there, a deterrent.
It's going to be, I can see it getting used quite a bit. If I'm the post officer who patrols that section or patrols down Riverside, instead of driving all the way to the headquarters, I can pop in there and meet somebody or use the facilities or stop in for lunch. Right. It'll be used regularly throughout their shifts.
And Bob, you could speak to this better than me, but it's important to have multiple places. Sometimes people can't go to a police station for some reasons. So to have a couple, like a substation, I think, didn't we use Briar House or Suite? That was IA was over there. So having a couple places, because some people, for whatever reason, domestic violence, whatever, don't want to be seen. So this is a good, positive thing for the city.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll close the public hearing. We've had the motion by Councilman Lawson, seconded by Council Vice President Rigo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, 3-0. Thank you all. Next item.
Mayor Communications, Director of Policy and Constituent Services, Andre Herrera.
Andre, welcome. I'll stop calling you Andrea one of these days.
It's a little bit confusing with both of us having almost the same name in the office, so I forgive you. Good evening, members of the City Council. Just sharing the mayor communications for tonight. We have appointment and reappointment requiring council confirmation and the appointment of Errol Danahy to the Juvenile Hearing Board for a 3-year term effective March 3rd, 2026 to March 2nd, 2029.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lawson, seconded
Second.
by Council Vice President Rigo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have an appointment, reappointment not requiring council confirmation. There are none. And then I have some items for announcement and discussion. The mayor gave the update on the blizzard, and I have a proclamation honoring March as Irish American Heritage Month in the city of East Providence. And if you want me to read that, or we can.
Yeah, and we want to thank Kathy for putting together the awesome event. I'm sorry, is that what you're going to be talking about, or is this just a proclamation? Oh, my bad. I jumped the gun.
No, you've never done that before.
Sure. If it's not too lengthy, you want to summarize it?
So yeah, and also, Councilman, you brought up a good point. March 17th, 11:30, here in the council chambers, we'll be having our St. Patrick's Day celebration. So Irish American Heritage Month, whereas by 1776, approximately 300,000 Irish citizens immigrated to the United States, and whereas the earliest Irish immigrants streamed across the Atlantic Ocean from their troubled homeland to find refuge and a new start, and whereas upon arriving to the United States, Irish immigrants struggled with discrimination and menial jobs as they worked their way up. And whereas the Irish brought with them the rich legacy of their nation and the determination to advance their lives. And whereas each year we celebrate Ireland and the Irish people by honoring St. Patrick, the patron saint and apostle of Ireland. And whereas the first recorded celebration of Irish Americans dates back to 1762 with the first St. Patrick's Day parade in New York City, which was comprised of a band of homesick Irish immigrants serving in the military who were stationed in New York. And whereas in 1990, Congress passed Public Law 101-418, designated March as Irish American Heritage Month, which now serves as an annual tribute to all Irish Americans with parades and parties across the country. And whereas we continue to celebrate Irish American Heritage Month in the city of East Providence as a way to celebrate the contributions Irish Americans have made in the city and all communities throughout the United States.
Thank you. And I would urge all residents, especially our Irish American townies, to stop by City Hall that day, 11 a.m. The Irish Americans in East Providence have had such a rich culture and history going way back, combining with all of the other cultures and ethnicities in this city, making East Providence the great community that it is. So we look forward to that. And as Councilman Lawson said, we have a friend in the clerk's office. who
Kathy
does a
from the
lot of work.
clerk's office. She
Kathy
is
Houlihan.
awesome, and we thank her. Thank you for the invite, Kathy. I am warming up, like I mentioned in the message you sent. So, thank you. Thank you. And maybe sometime we'll do a St. Joseph's Day. Us Italians could use a little love, you know?
Italians, we have enough going on.
Hey,
I'm only half. Yes, sir. Continue.
All right, so the next item we have is a proclamation honoring International Women's Day and Women's History Month in the city of East Providence for March.
And I think if people will go on the city website, you can see where there is information if you're looking for further information or nominations for women of the month. The program is fully listed on the website.
Yes, we're still accepting nominations to honor the women that made tremendous contributions in East Providence. So please feel free to reach out to the mayor's office if you have a nomination.
Thank you.
I'm going to nominate Kathy.
And then next we have a proclamation honoring the 205th anniversary of Greek Independence Day in the city of East Providence. That is
Tell me what date exactly that is.
the celebration. We're going to be sending out invitations.
No,
for
I'm
that.
talking about the Greek day.
Oh.
I know St. Patrick's. March 20. Are we doing it?
25th.
Are we doing anything or? Are we?
I'll have to check if there's any community events honoring that, but we always recognize.
Oh yeah, I mean, because great heritage. You know, obviously, legendary late great Jim Canellis and a lot.
Yeah.
You know, to name a few as far as the city, but just want to recognize.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll follow through with that.
even on that day, if we do something small here at the council.
Next.
Proclamation honoring March as Social Work Month in the city of East Providence.
Thank you. I think that goes along with, it's a national thing also, social workers. We're proud of the work, especially in this day and age with a lot of the depression and things that are going on in the world.
I spent a decade of my life as a therapist with developmentally disabled kids and social workers, what they have to deal with. And they are the biggest hearted people in the world because that is a tough job.
Tough job, low
And God
pay.
bless them. And thank God that we have them.
Thank you.
And I second that as well.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Andre. Next item.
D, resolutions for discussion and possible vote. Number 1, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Dubin Masonry Construction LLC for the construction of a police substation and recreation storage facility at Pierce Memorial Stadium. Council President Rodrick and Council Vice President Rigo.
So this is the resolution for what we have previously discussed.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Motion to accept, Council Vice President Rigo, seconded by Councilman Lawson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. 3-0.
Can I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
I didn't email about the school committee, but I just want to put it out. There was a snow day, not a distance learning. And I had a couple of people ask, I believe there's a request because RIDE, the state law says, was it 180 days? So they're
Right.
looking for an exception.
Looking for a
that
waiver
We don't
for
need
that.
to extend. So parents just pay attention to the schools. They'll be announcing that, but it was a true snow day like when we were
5 of
kids.
them.
All 5 were?
The whole week. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to have to get a special dispensation.
They may
From a
not
snow
get
day.
all 5, but they may have a couple of them waived.
Right, because I know families try to plan family vacations for the end of school. So they are working on keeping the end of school date static as is. So,
Yep.
sorry for that.
No, that's okay. It's good information. Next item.
Number 2, resolution authorizing the granting of an easement to install an electric distribution system for the new East Providence Community Center.
This comes to
Council
us.
Vice President Rigo.
This comes. I'm sorry. This comes. I'm sorry.
Council President Roderick,
Yeah.
distracted.
That's okay. I know the solicitor and I talked about this as kind of a procedural thing.
So this is because this is an easement over city property. The council needs to approve it. This was an easement drafted up through Narragansett Electric Company in consultation with our contractors on this property. So again, it's a permanent easement, but because it's a permanent easement on city property,
Which part? Is it north side
It's-
going into the Shores parking lot or going towards Payette Street?
there's a map on the.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not very good with directions,
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine.
but it's depicted in the map that's attached to the resolution and to the easement.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Lawson to approve, seconded by Council Vice President Rigo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, 3-0. Thank you. Next item.
E, introduction of ordinances for discussion and possible vote. Number 1, an ordinance in amendment of Chapter 16 of the revised ordinance of the City of East Providence, Rhode Island, 1998, as amended, entitled Taxation, Section 1, subsection B1 of Section 16-16, entitled Authority of City Assessor, of Article 2, entitled Property Exemption for Veterans and Persons 65 years of age and older, is amended to update the following property tax exemptions based on the most recent reevaluations as follows.
I want to thank you guys for letting me, unfortunately, we had to cancel the advisory meeting, so we didn't get to do this, but thank you for the tax office for putting this together, the administration. You know, the reason we do stuff like this for veterans is, like I mentioned, we lost 6 in the Iran conflict already. So little things like this, it's, you know, you don't get paid a lot when you're in the military and you can be put in harm's way. So little things like this is just the way society and Americans show some thanks. And so I'm going to make a motion that we pass this, and I thank the tax office for putting this together too.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Lawson to approve, seconded by Council Vice President Rigo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have that, 3-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn the meeting. Council Vice President Rigo, seconded by Councilman Lawson. All in favor? Aye.